So, around this time last night, I logged into Discord for the first time in years. It wasn't to catch up with old friends or anything, but rather to look into what it would take to begin my own server for my YouTube channel. One community that I used to be really active in was my local Pokemon Go server. It has a lot of old friends of mine, but I haven't played Pokemon Go regularly in a few years. So I decided to quickly peruse some group chats, and nothing much has really changed. There were some new names and new in-game features, but the same general vibe as the last time I used it. And in only those few minutes of reminiscing, I realized how video games utterly destroyed my childhood. Growing up, I was always pretty lonely. I was a pretty smart kid, but it was hard for me to socialize with the other kids in my grade, because they just seemed like crabs at the bottom of a bucket, you know? I'm not trying to brag about this, but I did all the academic competitions and honor bands that I could growing up. And through it all, I began to cultivate this small but steady friend group that I made with a few other kids in my grade who were doing this kind of stuff with me. The only things we ever did outside of school together was play video games. It was mostly Nintendo stuff, like Mario or Lego video games when we were younger, but as we got older, it transitioned to Pokemon way more. Like, I first got into Pokemon Go in 2017, when I was like 13 years old, only after an entire year of vehemently defying all of my bad influences in my life, trying to hook me onto it. But once I began playing it, I literally could not stop. Over the next 5 years, until 2022, I probably played over 5,000 hours of Pokemon Go. And that's a conservative estimate too. It could have been like 7 or 8,000 easily. I was spending birthday money on in-game currency, and most of my weekends were spent walking around town by myself. Like, in the middle of winter too, I was playing Pokemon Go. In Midwest winter, when it gets to like 20 below zero. And the only stuff I was watching on YouTube around that time was Pokemon content. It probably took me about 2 whole years to finally quit, after literally dozens of relapses and hundreds of nights of poor sleep. Probably the only reason why I ended up quitting it once and for all was my growing love for the gym. I first began lifting weights seriously around the summer of 2021, I think, and it came to occupy more and more of my mental space over that year. And gradually, over weeks and months, I began to naturally lose love for video games. And now I've been completely off any content like that for nearly 18 months. And causatory, correlation, whatever, my mental health has absolutely skyrocketed. It hasn't been easy, but it's been worth the struggle 1,000 times over. So, let me know in the comments how you guys relate to this. Like, if you're still struggling, or how you ended up quitting altogether. I'd like to get to know you guys a bit more. Okay, thanks all for watching and happy squatting. Mwah. Alrighty. Thanks all for watching and happy squatting. Mwah.